Top 10 games of all time, starting the list with number 10, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. The game takes place in the fictional province of Skyrim, a vast and immersive open world filled with various creatures, factions, and characters. The player takes on the role of Dragonborn, a character with the ability to use powerful magic known as Dragon Swords, and is tasked with defeating the dragon Elduin, who is professed to destroy the world. One of the game's most significant features is its open-ended gameplay, which allows players to approach quests and objectives in their own way. The game also offers a deep character customization system that allows players to level up and specialize their characters in a variety of skills, including magic, combat, and crafting. The game's visuals, music, and sound design are also highly praised for their immersive quality, helping to create rich and detailed world which players can easily lose themselves in. Number 9, God of War 2018. The game is a soft reboot of the God of War series, which follows the adventures of Greek god Kratos. It is the new installment. Kratos has moved to the realm of Norse mythology and is living as a mortal with his son Atreus. The game's story revolves around their journey to scatter Atreus' mother's ashes from the highest peak of 9 realms, while facing various challenges and enemies along the way. One of the game's most significant changes is its gameplay, which shifts from the traditional hack and slash style of the previous game to a more deliberate and strategic combat system. The game also introduced various RPG elements including skills, trees, crafting, and side quests, which add depth to the gameplay. The game visuals are highly praised for their stunning graphics and attention to details, creating a breathtaking and immersive world. The sound design and music are also highly praised with an epic orchestral score and powerful sound effects. One of the game's strongest points is its storytelling, which is both emotional and mature, exploring themes of fatherhood, loss, and redemption. The relationship between Kratos and Atreus is the central focus of the game, with the characters' interaction and development being a highlight of the game. Overall, God of War 2018 is a highly acclaimed and unforgettable gaming experience that successfully reinvents the series while staying true to its roots. Its exceptional gameplay, stunning visuals, and emotional storytelling make it a must-play for fans of action-adventure games. Number 8, Horizon Forbidden West. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is rebuilding after a catastrophic event. The player takes on the role of Aloy, a skilled hunter and a archer, as she journeys to the western frontier of the United States to uncover the mysteries behind a deadly new threat. The game features a vast open world filled with diverse environments including forests, deserts, and underwater areas, and new creatures and enemies to fight. The game introduces new gameplay mechanics such as free climbing and gliding, and well expanded skill trees and crafting system. The game features improved graphics and visual effects, taking full advantage of the power of PlayStation 5. Number 7, The Last of Us. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where a fungal pandemic has wiped out most of humanity, turning them into zombie-like creatures called infected. The player takes on the role of Joel as a smuggler who is tasked with escorting a young girl named Ellie across the country to a resistance group known as Fireflies. One of the game's most significant features is storytelling, which is emotional, mature, and expertly crafted. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is central focus of the game, with characters' interactions and development being a highlight. The game explores themes of loss, love, and survival, crafting a deeply emotional and memorable experience. The gameplay combines elements of stealth, exploration, and combat with a heavy emphasis on resources management and survival. The player must scavenge for supplies, craft weapons and equipment, and use stealth to avoid or take down enemies. The game's visuals and sound design and music are also highly praised, creating a believable and immersive world that players can easily lose themselves in. The game's voice acting, particularly the performance by Troy Baker as Joel and Ashley Johnson as Ellie, is highly acclaimed and adds to the emotional impact of the story. Overall, The Last of Us masterpiece of storytelling and gameplay and sets a new standard for action-adventure genre. Its emotional storytelling, memorable character, and intense gameplay make it a must-play for fans of the genre and video games in general. Number 6. Resident Evil 2 2019. It is a survival horror game developed and published by Capcom, and it is a remake of 1998 original game of the same name. The game follows the story of Rocky police officer Leon S. Kennedy and college student Clary Redfield as they try to survive a zombie outbreak in the city of Raccoon City. The game takes place from a third-person perspective, with the player exploring the city, solving puzzles and fighting off zombies and other creatures. One of the most significant changes in the 2019 version is the introduction of new over-the-shoulder camera perspective, which provides a more immersive and intensive experience. The game's graphic and sound design are also significantly improved, creating a more realistic and terrifying atmosphere. The game features a dual campaign structure, with the player playing through both Leon and Claire's stories, each with their unique puzzles and scenarios. The game also includes new enemies, weapons, and gameplay mechanics, providing a fresh experience for both new and returning players. The game's horror elements are well executed, with tension and fear building throughout the game. The game pacing and level design are also well crafted, providing a sense of desperation as player tries to survive zombie-infested city. Overall, Resident Evil 2 2019 is a fantastic remake that successfully captures the essence of game while updating the gameplay and visuals for modern audience. The game is a must-play for the fans of the horror survival genre, and great entry point for those new to the series. Number 5. Batman Arkham City. The game takes place in an open world environment that is 5 times larger than its predecessor. The player takes on the role of Batman, who is trapped in Arkham City, a well-off area of Gotham City that is a maximum security prison for the city's criminals. The game features a main storyline as well as various side missions that can be completed for additional rewards. The gameplay is centered around Batman's ability as a master detective and skilled fighter. The game's combat system is fluid and intuitive, and with a focus on timing and strategy. The player can use a variety of gadgets and weapons such as batarangs, explosive jab, and a grapnel gun to take down enemies and solve puzzles. One of the game's strengths is its storytelling, which features a complex and engaging narrative that is true to Batman and comics. The game's voice acting, particularly by Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker, is highly praised and adds to the immersive experience. The game's visual and sound design are top-notch, with gritty and dark aesthetic that is true to Batman universe. The city is filled with details, Easter eggs, and references to comics, providing a rich and immersive experience for fans of the series. Overall, Batman Arkham City is an excellent game that successfully builds on the strengths of its predecessor. The game's fluid, immersive world makes it a must-play for fans of Batman universe and action-adventure games in general. Number 4. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The game takes place in a vast open world known as Hyrule, which the player can explore freely. The player takes on the role of Link, who awakens from a century-long slumber to find that Hyrule has been ravaged by the evil calamity Ganon. The game story is presented non-linearly, with the player discovering information and clues through exploration and side quests. The game is focused on exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. The game's open world design allows the players to tackle challenges in any order they choose, and the game's physics engine allows for creative solutions to puzzles and combat encounters. The player can climb, glide, and swim, and he can use a variety of weapons, shields, and magic spells to fight enemies. One of the game's most significant features is its emphasis on survival. The player must gather food and materials to maintain their health and stamina, and must also contend environmental hazards such as extreme heat or cold. The game's visuals are stunning, with a cel-shaded art style that is both beautiful and unique. The game's story, sound design, and music are also top-notch, with a memorable score that captures game's sense of adventure and exploration. Overall, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece of game design that sets a new standard for open-world games. Its emphasis on exploration, survival, and creative problem-solving creates a deeply immersive and rewarding experience that is unmatched in the action and adventure genre. Number 3. Grand Theft Auto 5. It is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It was released in 2013 in fifth main entry in Grand Theft Auto series. The game takes place in the fictional city of Los Santos, based on Los Angeles and its surrounding countryside. The player takes on the roles of three different protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, each with their own unique personality and backstory. The game's story follows their criminal exploits as they navigate shady underbelly of Los Santos and its criminal organizations. The gameplay is focused on exploration, driving, shooting, and various criminal activities such as heist and drugs deals. The game's open-world design allows the player to freely explore the city and countryside, and numerous side missions and activities to complete. The game visuals are immersive and detailed characters, models, and environments that create a realistic and immersive experience. The game's sound design and music are also noteworthy, and with a diverse and memorable soundtrack that captures the game's sense of action and adventure. One of the game's most significant features is its multiplayer mode known as Grand Theft Auto Online. The mode allows players to create their own characters and engage various criminal activities with other players in the persistent online world. Overall, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a highly entertaining game that offers a vast and immersive open-world experience. Its multiple protagonists and engaging storyline providing a fresh take on the series formula, and the addition of online multiplayer adds to the game's replay value. The game's mature themes and violent content may not be suitable for all audiences, but for those who enjoy open-world games and action-adventure games, GTA 5 is a must-play title. Number 2. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It is an action role-playing game developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2015. It is the third installment in the Witcher series and is widely considered one of the best games of its generation. The game takes place in a vast open-world setting, the players assuming the role of Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter known as Witcher. The main story revolves around Geralt's search of CD, who is being pursued by a group of such supernatural beings known as the Wild Hunt. Along the way, Geralt must make choices that impact the game's stories and its multiple endings. One of the strengths of Witcher 3 is storytelling, which is often cited as some of the best in the game. The game's characters are well developed, with each having their own unique personalities and motivations. The dialogue is also well written and often humorous, adding the game's charm. The combat in The Witcher 3 is fast-paced and challenging, with players having access to a variety of weapons and spells. The game's skills system allows players to tailor Geralt's ability to their playstyle, making for a more personalized experience. The game's graphics are also immersive, with the world being highly detailed and realistic. The game's sound design is also excellent, with the game's soundtrack adding to the atmosphere and mood of the game. Overall, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a fantastic game that should not be missed by fans of action RPGs games genre. Number 1. Minecraft. Minecraft is a sandbox survival game developed and published by Mojang Studios. The game was released in 2011 and has since become one of the most popular games in the world, with a massive player base across multiple platforms. In Minecraft, players are placed in a procedurally generated world where they must gather resources and craft tools, weapons, and shelter to survive. The game features both single-player and multiplayer modes, allowing players to explore the world alone or with friends. One of the most significant aspects of Minecraft is its creative freedom. Players can build anything they can imagine, from small structures to massive cities, using the game's block-based system. The game also features a variety of creatures including zombies, skeletons, creepers, which can make survival more challenging. The game's graphics are simple and blocky, but this style adds to the game's charms and allows for smoother performance at lower-end hardware. The sound design is also excellent, with the game's ambient soundtrack creating a relaxing and immersive atmosphere. The game's multiplayer mode is a significant part of its appeal, with players able to join servers and play with others from around the world. The game also features mod support, allowing players to add new content and features to the game, further extending its replayability. Overall, Minecraft is an incredible, addictive and creative game that offers endless possibilities for players. Its simple graphics, excellent sound design and engaging gameplay make it a classic that has stood the test of time. So these were my top 10 best games of all time. What are yours? Comment down below, and for this type of content consider subscribing this YouTube channel.